Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of March 25th, 2021. The current character challenge is Luchador Bane. That is a 1 week repeat. The required characters for that are Wonder Woman, Nightwing, and Flash, who you can get at Silver, Bronze, and Bronze if you're looking at the lowest tier that each of them are available. So pretty good for newer players. Passive is Feel the Pain, which is upon tag-in, Bane has a chance to stun his opponent and receives a 25% boost to all damage for 4 seconds. He's got 1,100 attack and 800 health. He was last available in May of 2020.
Yeah, so low stats for gold, 1,900 combined, compared to 2,200 last week for Hawkgirl. And she was an old challenge character, so this is even worse.
Yeah, so he's got real low stats.
Yeah. So he was the original Glass Cannon. And not just a good card with low health. Back in the day, he was a great card.
Yeah.
Like, when I say cannon, he wasn't like a little pop gun, a glass pop gun. He just, with his chance of stun being well over 50%, part of me feels like it's somewhere around 75%. If you give him...
It's consistent enough to rely on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. If you give him League of Assassins Knives, that gives the special 1 boost and the 50% splash damage. If you give him Cloak of Destiny, which independently has a chance of stun, and it gives a boost to his damage if he stuns and if he crits, or give him Necron Scythe, which doesn't have a chance of stun, but gives him a revive if he knocks someone out. So Cloak of Destiny works better on him. More damage and the extra chance of stun. And then the third gear could either be Tentu Totem for bar power or Razzle Glow Scimitar for bar power, but only the one time. Or you can give him Batgirl as a teammate. You get one more slot that you can open up for another gear that's stunned, so you can get almost 100% stun, and say with Luxor Gauntlets, which also increases crit chance of special 1 and chance of stun.
Yeah.
And
then he's a machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Both Batgirl and Luchador Bane are really good with that particular loadout. So the hardest decision before Necron Scythe was who to give it to. Now you can do that with both.
Yeah, who to give that 300% extra damage on a stun special.
Yeah. A few dangers with this strategy, especially now. If you're relying on Bane to do all your damage, he'll stun almost all the time. But if he doesn't stun, you got to be ready to have him be knocked out.
Yeah.
That's why Hawkgirl works really well, because if he doesn't stun, that's a good chance to you spend your special, but then you have time to tag out before he takes damage. Another problem with this loadout is Red Sun Green Lantern. His team will be immune to stun, and this sort of revolves completely around that. So most of the time you'll be fine. You hit a snag when you hit a Red Sun Green Lantern team, and you'll be in real trouble. What's interesting, but nobody plays him anymore, is Batman Beyond, who has a passive that makes him immune to stun.
So theoretically, he'd be an issue, but you're never going to find him, so it just will never come up.
And he doesn't help the whole team. He only helps himself, which is funny because, it's just, in every way, he's worse than Red Sun Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Astro Harness also makes you immune to stun. And if you tag in your Luchador Bane as the opponent is knocking out a teammate, you're also out of luck.
Yeah, if you get the timing wrong.
And also revives. Any revives, because he does a huge amount of splash damage, so everybody's weak. But then he's lost his power, the guy's still standing in front of you, and has just revived, and you're vulnerable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So we've got a playlist with Luchador Bane, with a lot of different gameplay videos, and what's funny is we've got a bunch of them, I think 3 of them, that were before Cloak of Destiny even existed. So they weren't all that super duper, but they were still pretty good.
Yeah. This week in multiplayer, we have Blackest Night Superman, and he's got a passive which has 2 parts and also 2 names. So his passive is Necron's Champion, For the Dead Will Rise, and then another colon. And that is Superman's special attacks do necrotic damage to the opponent, causing wounds that can't heal. And Blackest Night characters are immune to unblockables and gain health for every KO'd opponent. He's got 1,375 attack, 1,425 health. He was last available in September of 2020. It's been our 12th week in a row of the schedule holding after like a 1 or 2 week interruption. Right. So it's, looks like the schedule is still on, and we should see Cloak of Destiny next week, given the schedule, which is pretty good.
Right. And that's a stark contrast, right? They're both golds. Luchador Bane had a combined base stat of, what we say, 1900.
Yeah.
This is 2800 combined
Yeah.
stat. So these are really good high stats. The first part of his passive is one of those abilities that sounds way better than it actually is, because the amount of necrotic damage you can do, right, it isn't game changing. It takes so long to build up enough of health that cannot be healed.
Yeah.
That it's not going to make a difference.
It's just really, like, if somebody's healing enough that it ends up making a difference, then you're doing a really bad job of knocking them out.
Yeah.
So it should almost never come up. I think the only way it would be good is if they changed it so that it would be all of their, like, health bar that wasn't currently health turned into necrotic damage whenever he activated a special. Yeah. That would actually be useful.
Yeah. What's funny is, all right, so he's got a sort of a second and a third part, right? Mm-hmm. The second part with immunity unblockables, really good. He's a great counter to the god of unblockables, which is Ares Godsmack, which is not only unblockable by itself, but will cause you to normally be unable to block after Ares does it. Lets you block against most stun on tag-ins. Basically, every stun on tag-in that does damage as it goes, whether it's like 1 point or whatever. It helps against unblockable specials like Arkham Knight Batgirl or Arkham Harley Quinn or Killer Frost. But the Earth 2 stuns, which the tag-in stun, which does no damage, will still work, actually, against Blackest Night Superman team.
Yeah.
And the health is okay. I mean, again, I've never been big on the defensive kind of passes, but,
So he's not the best, not the worst.
It's pretty good.
But he helps out a Blackest Night team. He's a worthwhile addition if you don't have a full set before. Yeah. He's a good third. In the store, we have the Blackest Night Hawkgirl pack for $24.99 Canadian as always. And that comes with no credits, so it's a way worse deal than it normally is.
So what's funny is that even though the multiplayer and challenges are out of sync, that Blackest Night Hawkgirl is going to be a next potential Blackest Night teammate, and Cloak of Destiny, which is coming next week, is a potential enhancement for your Luchador Bane if you don't have it.
Yeah, so there is a lot of synergy. If you're getting into stuff and getting all the rewards right now, you're sort of building up a couple of viable team setups at the same time.
It's a good couple weeks for you.
Yeah. We also have the Icebreaker pack for $24.99 Canadian, and that comes with Killer Frost Regime, and Luchador Bane. So, it's the fact that they don't unlock in the store doesn't actually matter as much in the case of Luchador Bane.
Because we're going to unlock him this week.
Yeah, because you're unlocking him this week, so if you don't have enough time to play it, and, Killer Frost is pretty good. So this is actually, as far as packs go, as long as you can complete the challenge at least once this week, this is actually probably one of the better deals.
Yeah? You think so? Because if you can complete the challenge, then Luchador Bane is actually worthless.
Oh, I guess so. That's true.
That's the opposite, actually.
No, you're right.
It makes it less worthwhile because Luchador Bane is this week's challenge.
That's true. Yeah. If you don't want credits, never mind. Turn myself around. You're right. It is. Yeah. In Our Survivor, we have the LexCorp gear set until the 7th of April, 2021. Phantom Zone has one more week left. Fight 62 is, as always, broken. Last weekend's breakthrough was Lex Luthor, Batman, and Doomsday, so we should expect Bane, Killer Frost, and Ares coming up. So I guess Bane, there we see Bane again, right?
Yeah.
Right after you got him, there was a chance to put him through.
Yeah, as opposed to last week where Hawkgirl had just passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good couple of weeks.
That's true.
Yeah. Link in the description, Reddit thread, Devlin16 gives a complete breakthrough cycle list. That one's actually not failed since it started.
Yeah.
Or not since it started, since they added all the characters that were missing from the original cycle.
Yeah, since the update that brought us to the cycle.
Right. So, current glitches. That's our next step. Spoiler alert, nothing's changed. Every working glitch is explained in a tutorial video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the I in the top right corner of this video. We are Android 9 only, so we're only able to confirm these glitches for Android 9 because, and we make that distinction now because apparently Android 10 is a little different, Android 11 might be a little different, and iOS is definitely different.
Yeah. So starting with the significant not working glitches, stuff that you might want to look for that you could have done in the past that you can't do anymore. There's nothing for credits that we're willing to endorse. Season 6, Episode 9 of our P&Q and CNA&T videos goes through why we aren't talking about the glitch that does exist.
Yeah.
we're not willing to put our name behind it. You can find it if you want. It uses 2 devices, and if you really want to look for it, you can, but we're not going to be the people that tell you how to do it. There is nothing for getting repeated past multiplayer season rewards. There is nothing for getting early multiplayer season rewards, and there is nothing to get through Phantom Zone supernaturally quickly other than your best strategy and your best team for it.
Yeah, and I think I've got a minor modification for an even better team. I just got to find time for us to make that video.
Okay.
So working glitches. The glitch to let you play Phantom Zone repeatedly and the challenge reset method are both working. They are the same thing. You reset progress on one, you reset progress on the other. Just remember that, because you might be playing the Phantom Zone and the challenge in asynchronously. So you may not want to, reset willy-nilly without at least thinking, hey, do I want to reset that other progress too?
Yeah.
If you're on Android 10, having trouble because it makes you re-download more than a gig of data, we've got a possible solution from a viewer, Tanime Kakde, which we cut and pasted into the description. Basically, saving files, moving them around, so that instead of having to re-download it, you're just shifting it around from one folder to another. And Jonathan Yang had a comment that we've also cut and pasted about how to do the challenge reset for iOS devices.
Yeah, and we've got nothing but positive feedback for both of those, so even though we can't test them for ourselves, they seem like they work, and this isn't the kind of stuff that is particularly dangerous, in our opinions. The breakthrough glitch to let you play it repeatedly is still working. The airplane mode / refund glitch is still working, and that's good for packs with random drops and the last laugh tickets. Doesn't work for stuff that requires an online connection, which is Phantom Zone rewards. We can't do that, although we've got differing reports from some people who say that they can on their own sort of devices or OSs.
Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. Always, always, always bring your countdown clock back to normal before you finish. Otherwise, you will mess up potential events that are calendar sensitive. Like the challenge, like the Phantom Zone, all that stuff. And then finally...
Yep, we have the promotion glitch that is technically not working, it's not usable, but we don't know whether it's working or not. Because the conditions aren't right to even try it in the first place.
Conditions never came up all that often, even when it was working, and the conditions came around every once in a while. So,
So, does it work? Who knows? We may never know. At this rate, it seems like we're never going to find out.
Yeah, that's true.
And last but not least, we'd like to give a huge thank you to all the lovely people who support us beyond just watching us with their eyeballs. They've opened their hearts and their wallets to us and support us on Patreon. And we really appreciate all of those folks. So that is Console Peasant and Edwoon, who are supporting us at the top tier last word, Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, and Eddydoo, who are supporting us on the credited level, and Chris Wolff, Scarlet Dani, Awesomegamer 241, Pavu RS, Gavin Mallott, and Isfar E at the gratitude level. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.
Komoda.